Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to iTouch App Reviewers. Today I've got a pretty cool story going over the iPhone's battery life. Now, everyone wants better battery life, okay? I think we can all agree on that. And we don't necessarily want our phones to keep getting thinner and thinner because that means smaller and smaller batteries. However, according to this report, iPhone batteries could have Apple-designed power management chips within 2 years. So yes, that's putting it right in line with the 2019 iPhone. Like I've been saying, I think the 2019 iPhone 10 or whatever they call it is going to be awesome. So if you can hold out until then, go for it. I'm very happy that I got the iPhone 10 this year so that I don't obviously have to upgrade next year and then be caught in a weird cycle. So 2019 iPhone is going to be the one to get. However, with that said, let's go over some of the details here. So Apple is designing its own power management chips for use in iPhones within the next 2 years. According to Nikkei Asian Review, Apple's new in-house power management chip would be the most advanced in the industry according to the sources, and could have processing capabilities that allow it to better monitor and control power consumption among various components. That means iPhone users could expect devices capable of delivering better performance on lower power consumption. And Apple plans to replace around half of the main power management chips that go into its iPhones with its own as early as 2018, but the transition could be delayed until 2019 according to anonymous sources. So what we're looking at here is basically a chip inside the phone that monitors and controls the battery overall. So as you can see here, the main power management chip controls an iPhone's battery, including charging capabilities and energy consumption. Apple's in-house version will supposedly be the most advanced in the industry. Of course, it's Apple, they're gonna say that, but it probably will be, which could pave the way for future iPhone models to have a better performance versus battery life balance. So basically what we're saying here is you're gonna have to charge your phone a little bit less once this chip is in the phones, unless Apple decides to use this for what they like to do best, as we know, which is make the phones thinner. So in theory, they could make the phone thinner, give it a smaller battery, and still claim to have the same battery life as we have now. That is not the way I want to see Apple do this. I want to see Apple either put a bigger battery or the same size battery plus this chip and give us better battery life. Like, I think everyone can agree that the iPhone 10 feels fine. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, but with better battery life, it would be great. I mean, you can't complain about better battery life. So I think the iPhone 10's battery life right now actually is pretty damn good. So I'm not complaining too much about that, but I mean, I would not argue better battery life. So I think what this chip will do is basically just tone down the CPUs and stuff and power consumption overall when it's not doing anything intensive. But then when it's doing, something that's graphically intensive like a game, it can, boost performance and kind of make sure that it doesn't kill the battery super fast like some really unoptimized chips do. Like if you look at a lot of the Android phones, a lot of their battery life is not good. So what Apple's doing here is they are literally, at this point, it seems like buying everything. So if they make their own chip, they make their own hardware, they make this and that, and if they can bring that all in-house, the iPhone is going to be even more efficient than it already is. So as we know, Apple owns, the software and a lot of the hardware for iPhones, whereas Android is all fragmented. They get different bits and pieces from, different sources. Of course, the iPhone's not completely made by Apple. The screen on it's from Samsung, but as Apple just continues to progress and get more and more money, they can, afford to make their own stuff. So I think eventually, not anytime too soon, but eventually we'll see iPhones that are basically made almost 100% by Apple without outsourcing any products or parts of the phone. And I think that will lead to a better product for the consumer. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Drop a comment down below if you guys think the iPhone 10's battery is decent as it is. Personally, I think it is pretty good, but I want to hear your thoughts. So hit this video with a big thumbs up and subscribe. Oh yeah, one other thing for those of you that are still listening here, there was a report the other day that came out about a foldable iPhone. Yes, foldable iPhone. And a lot of people ask, well, you can't fold a battery. And that's where I want you guys to think about. The iPhone 10 has a separated battery. It's 2 cells. Think about that. If they did that on a foldable phone, maybe they're testing it now to see how a 2-cell battery holds up. And then in the future, in theory, they could have one cell on one half of the phone and the other cell on the other half and have just a thin connector between so that it could fold. Just food for thought. I think that we might be seeing that technology in the future. So keep that in the back of your minds for all you fans that are actually still watching this video. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Again, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.